a while back we demoed this feature that allow you to enable notifications. So if you go to notification here, you'll see two new features. One provides you a notification. Then another way is that you can deliver notifications through email. So I enabled those two features. Um, Currently, the notifications are derived from workflow, but you have access through code to be able to send notification using the notification manager. Um, but so just to show you how this works, I created a workflow here that reacts to some events. And so this right here, whenever a blog post is published, we notify the owner. So if you look here, there's the summary and there's the body of the notification that's being sent. And there's another one whenever we delete a blog, we also notify the owner. There is nothing fancy about the notification here. It's just generic messages for the test. And here, whenever we update a user profile, we can also send a notification. But the fact that these are workflow driven, you can just hook just into about anything. There is a menu up here that you will see that will allow you to access notifications. So just to show you how this kind of all work real fast, I'm gonna go to content items actually here and create a blog post. And we're just gonna call it test 3. Whoops, I don't know what I did, but it created it. And as you can see here, your blog was published, and that's because of that trigger that we have in the workflow. And then if you go to all notifications here, you'll see a list of all notifications. So you'll see this one in like a yellowish color because this is not red. As you can see here, you can mark it as red, and when you do, the color goes back. You have actions here that you can say mark as unread if you don't want to read it. Similarly here, you can do that. If you want, you can mark all as read. Hit OK. You can sort notifications as well. You can show just the read or the unread. So you can filter that down as well. What else? Yeah, so another thing is when you go to a user, if you enable that the email notification under user, you can actually edit the preferences. So you can opt in or opt out of email notification. So if you want to opt out, you can just take it off. And if you want email notification, you can. And so this is all the standard or basics. At some point, we can create some more settings to allow us to, you know, receive one email every hour with all the changes and things like that. We could also put like a create real-time communication. So whenever an email, a notification is sent, it'll appear here automatically. I haven't did any of that yet, but obviously that's something that we can implement down the line. But for right now, you have the notification portal where you can filter through your notification. You can mark them read, unread, and so on and so forth. And you can deliver messages through email or web notification, which is here. And we can always implement any additional notification, like a push notification to like a phone app. We can do push notification through SMS, whatever it is we need. We just need to implement the provider that provide the delivery mechanism. That's it. Let me know if you have any questions or any kind of feedback. You know, let me know if you have any questions.
It looks like a feature I would have implemented. The way it is done with the checkboxes and the filters and the workflow. It's beautiful.
Mike, are notifications a content type?
I'm sorry, say that again.
Are notifications a content type?
Ah.
I don't think I understand the question.
No, it's not a content type. It's like a
Oh, it's a
custom source
content type.
provider.
Yeah, it's not. It's a notification, and we even store them in a different table than the document table. It has its own collection, so it stores separately.
Oh, and it's not even a content item. Maybe that's yeah, like an item is not a content. Well, a notification is not a content item. I didn't read the question this way. I thought like, is email a content type? Is SMS a content type? And no, I mean, so that you have notifications and then they are sent through as emails, as SMS, as whatever. That's a thing, but they are not even content items. I see. They are just records in the table. Documents,
Yes, but you can
yeah.
you can also link them. So if you go back to the workflow, maybe I didn't show this. So in here, if you edit the task, you can actually link it. So you see how you can link it with a custom URL. Like if the user click on it, you send them to this custom URL. You can also say link it to a view content. So when the user click on it, it'll take you to that content which was published from the workflow. So it's not a content item, but you can link it to a content item using things like this workflow.
So that's a common pattern with workflows, to be able to link to the triggering thing. And I'm afraid you re-implemented something parallel to what's already existing, which is liquid and inject links to content items and things like this. Yeah, like you should actually have the fields in your form be templated such that users can use Liquid, right? And then you don't need to say anything like link type or whatever. You just inject a URL or whatever you want to whatever you want. If you want a URL to a content item, you just inject a tag that says view the content item or even edit the content item. You know, things like this. You can
well, this right here already support.
So then you don't need the link type.
Yeah, maybe we don't, because we already can say it contains HTML, and we can inject any liquid we want.
If the medium of the notification, like email is not a link, but if, like, I don't know, if some notification is a link somehow, that when it's received, then maybe you want the form to have something like what is a URL, still templated. But here it's not the case. You have summary, you have title, you have body. So all these fields should be templated, and then they can be a link if you want. They can be URL if you want. It can be anything you want. I think I mentioned that last time, but what would be nice here would be to have a view per channel. Like if you receive an email, the text might be much bigger than if you receive a text. That could be solved actually if you have in your workflow that is the name of the channel. So in the notification, when the notification is generated, the text of notification, you could check that you could set the value such that the template itself will be able to know if it's rendered for an email, for text, for whatever. That might change the way you want to write the thing.
So you're saying to have a field per,
no,
like for the email, one for the
field,
web?
a property in the workflow that is set such that here in the body, you could decide to write something differently or small or big based on where it's sent. Because you agree, like the main notification factor will be email and text. Let's see that email and text, right? Like if tomorrow someone implements a text channel, SMS channel.
Yeah, it's a provider.
Yeah, then actually currently it's really the same form, right? With title, summary, body. But when you send the text, there is just a body. There is no title, there is no summary, there is just a body. So you could say, well, you don't have to send the title and the summary, that's fine. But then the body also in an email might be big. You could include the images and everything, but maybe in the text for the notification, you don't want to send such thing. You might want to send just a URL, for instance, like blog post updated and the URL, and users can click on that. So maybe the user might want to change, well, the dev might want to change what's sent when it's an email and what is sent when it's SMS through this form. So if they could have, at least in the body, if destination equals SMS, like if notification.provider equals SMS or notification.provider equals email, then write that and write that. Might be interesting. If there are multiple,
basically have a body for each notification provider.
If you can do that, that's perfect. If you can otherwise provide a property in the model that is passed to the body, then you can have a single body that will have a if then else inside the body to generate different things. So either you have two bodies and the user doesn't need to do a if else, or you have a single body and the dev will need to do a if else to see where is it sent, SMS or email. If you can have multiple bodies, I think that's better because you can, it's easier, and then users can say, I want to register for email and text if they want, right? That was what you supported.
Yeah, we can add the multiple fields.
So if you can do that, that's perfect. Then when you save the notification, then you have, that would be perfect, in my opinion.
Sounds good.
I don't think you need the link type, though. You can inject it as a templated thing. That's much more flexibility. That's documented. That's, yeah.
All right. Sounds good.
Awesome. Thank you.